Bonjour everyone and welcome to this class. Today is a power flow, a longer class than usual, so let's get right into it. Let's start sitting on a block or not, cross-legged. Just find a comfortable seat where your knees are slightly under your hips, and then let's keep a straight spine, shoulders relaxed, crown of the head reaching upwards, and then your hands maybe resting on your knees in between your legs. Just find that comfortable seat and then gently close your eyes. And we're going to start by taking a big inhale through the nose. Inhale and sigh it out. 2 more times. Big inhale, fill up the lungs. And 1 more. And now let your belly hang out. Legs relaxed. Not holding on to anything. Just focusing on our breath for a few minutes. Letting all the muscles in your face get loose. From the eyebrows to the jaw. Then slowly coming down, making sure those shoulder blades melting down the back. Really letting your belly and your stomach just fill up with air, and then letting it go. And applying that to your lower body now. Hip flexors relaxed, quads, calves, ankles, even your toes. Really not holding on to anything right now. And what a beautiful feeling, you have nothing to do. Just keep your breath flowing naturally. Maybe even counting your inhales and exhales. And whenever your mind is wandering off, and it will, it probably already has, just come back to your breath. And remember, if your mind's wandering, just come back to your breath. That is all what meditation is. Whatever you do, whatever happens, always coming back to those inhales and exhales. Let's sit here for just another minute. Whether that feels really short or really long. And finally, today, think about one thing that you are grateful for. Maybe you could even dedicate your practice to someone. When things get a little tough, you will have something to hold on to, a greater purpose. And start to bring movement into your toes and fingers. Taking a big inhale and sighing it out. Now let's gently open our eyes. We're going to start moving a little bit gently. Bringing the right hand down on the right side of the mat. Inhale, left hand goes up. And exhale, bend that right elbow. Reaching that left hand towards the right side. Keeping that left shoulder open, shoulder blade melting down the back. Both sit bones on the mat, legs still relaxed. And then reach one more time on the inhale. And exhale, bringing the left hand on the mat. Inhale, right hand goes up. And then bend that elbow, reaching the right hand towards the left side. Just keep both sit bones on that block on the mat. You should really feel it on the right side of the body. Big opening. You can look up, you can look down, it doesn't really matter. But you can bend the elbow as much as you want. Reach one more time. And then coming back to a neutral seated position. Let's go for twists. So the right hand comes behind your back, left hand to the right knee. Inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, we twist over to the right side. You can use your left hand on that right knee as a lever to go a little bit deeper, but be gentle. We've got time today. And then gently untwist. Let's go for the other side. Left hand behind your back, right hand to the left knee. Inhale, elongate the spine, reach up. Exhale, twist over to the left side this time. If you followed my class, you know that I always say it doesn't really matter what you do with your neck. The difference has to be between your hips and your shoulders. That's what creates the twist. Then the neck can be an added pressure if you like it or not. One more breath here. And then gently untwisting. This time we're going for neck stretches. So the right ear comes to the right shoulder. And then if you like, using that right hand on the left side of the face to gently pull that ear closer to your shoulder. So it's the ear that's traveling to the shoulder, not the shoulder to the ear. And then feel that deep stretch on the left side. And then let it go. Other side. Left ear to left shoulder, and then left hand on the right side of the face if you like. We're keeping the spine straight, the legs relaxed. And then let your hand go. This time we're going to the front, chin to your chest. And if you want, interlacing hands behind your head and letting gravity do the work, keeping your spine straight. And then let your hands go, bringing your head back up, maybe doing one circle from right to left. And then from left to right, gently coming back to a neutral pose. If you had a block under your glutes, let's remove it. I'm going to pivot and bring the sole of your feet together. Knees are wide. Let's go for that butterfly, reaching forwards with a straight spine at first. And maybe you stay here today, or maybe you round that back. Let your neck and head go. And then feel the stretch along the outside of your legs. Then it's just about going as deeper as you want right now. Wherever you are, just keep that breath flowing. If you want to go a bit deeper, you can bring your hands under the knees and use that as a lever to stretch and stress your muscles a little bit more. Maybe even starting to feel it in your lower back. A few more breaths here. And then start to come up vertebrae by vertebrae. Use your hands to bring your knees together. Interlace your legs and then rolling over on your knees, setting up for child's pose. Knees as wide as the mat. Big toes touching each other. Sinking glutes onto the heels and then reaching both hands forwards. Child's pose. Rest, neck on the mat. And then we want to elongate the spine, so reaching as much as you can forwards and bringing chest to the mat. Now slowly bring both hands towards the right side, finding a similar stretch than the first stretch we did, that side bend. And then gently back to center, and then straight away make your way to the left. Back to that neutral child's pose, and then slowly making your way up into a tabletop. Just making sure knees under the hips, toes untucked, hands under the shoulders. Your spine is straight, you're pushing the ground away with the hands. Pelvis slightly tucked in. And then let's reach the right hand in front of you, straight, left leg to the back, making sure I don't kick a plant. Then you can either stay here or bend that left knee, grabbing it with the right hand, tiger pose. As usual, tiger sound is optional. Kicking that left knee up, opening the right shoulder. Strong and intense pose to start with. And then slowly come back to your tabletop. Softly bringing hand and knees on the mat. And then left hand goes in front, right leg goes to the back, reaching through the ball of the foot. So we're strengthening that right leg. And then bend the right knee, grabbing your ankle with the left foot, tiger pose on that left side. Opening left shoulder, kicking right knee up. Hand still under the shoulder. One more breath. And then softly coming down on the mat. Now, from here, we're going to keep the lower body as it is, just reaching the upper body to the front, into that puppy pose, chest to the mat, opening the shoulder, maybe introducing that slight back bend, and then neck on the mat, or even your chin if you like. And then keep breathing. And slowly making your way up, back to that tabletop. And then let's go for that downward facing dog. Tucking your toes in, feet hip distance apart. hands in front of you, kicking those hips up. And then gently make your way into that down dog, bending one leg, straightening the other, and vice versa, walking your dog, making sure feet hip distance apart, maybe bend your knees to start with, send the hips high, flatten the spine, reaching those hands forward, and then really pushing the ground away with the hands, and if you like, slowly bringing heels closer to the mat, feeling the stretch through the back of the leg. And then we're just going to stay here. If you want to introduce a little bit of movement and continue with that, perfectly fine. Maybe accentuating, bending to one side or to the other. Anything that feels good. Don't worry, it's not the last down dog of the day. And then from here, bend your knees, look forward, step the right foot in between your hands, followed by the left, hip distance apart. And then still bending those knees, grabbing the elbows, letting your upper body loose, just ribs on the thighs, into that ragdoll, swaying from left to right, or maybe finding a more static ragdoll, just letting go, lengthening the neck, even if you want, just letting your hands go. And then hands on the mat, heel toe your feet together. And then inhaling, straightening the spine, straightening the legs, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward folding, ribs on your thighs. Let's do that 2 more times, straightening the legs, straightening your back, maybe hands on your shins. Exhaling, forward folding. 1 more time. And exhaling. And then we're going to slowly rise up, bringing the hands high up in the air, and then exhaling, hands to your heart. Let's start the flow. Let's go. Top of the mat, feet together, sweeping the arms up, and then exhaling, forward folding from the hips, ribs on the thighs, let the neck go. Inhale, it's halfway lift, straightening the legs, upper body straight. Exhaling, hands to the mat. We're stepping back into that high plank. First high plank of the day. Believe me, not the last this time. And to start with, let's bring knees on the mat. And then chest and chin to the mat. Sliding back, hands under the shoulders. Inhale into that baby cobra. Looking to the right. Looking to the left. And then coming back down to the mat. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhaling, baby cobra, engaging those glutes. Looking to the right, looking to the left. And coming back down on the mat. Hands under the shoulders, tuck your toes in. Send your hips high into your downward dog. Let's take 3 breaths in that down dog. Just making sure you're sending your hips high up in the air. And then chest closer to the knees, keeping the breath flowing. And then from that down dog, bend your knees, look forward, step the right foot in between the hands, followed by the left. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhaling, forward folds, and then rising up, hands up to the ceiling, going straight back down, hinging at the hips, falling forward. Inhale, it's flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back into your high plank. Let's do with the knees 1 more time, just so we take our time. We're going to do a few vinyasas, don't worry. Let's just send the elbows to the back, chin and chest on the mat, sliding back. Inhale into that cobra. Maybe try to go a little bit higher, maybe even straightening your arms. And then exhaling. Hands under the mat, send your hips high up, downward dog. Maybe even bending one leg, straightening the other, walking your dog a little bit more. Maybe introducing some movement you enjoy. Or maybe just staying static. Hips high, letting the heels come closer to the mat, wherever they are. Just really feeling that stretch on the back of the legs. And then bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the front of the mat into that halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. And then gently rising up, hands up to the ceiling. One more time, we're going straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten that upper body. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back, high plank. Lowering down to low plank, sending those elbows to the back. Inhale is up dog or cobra. Engaging those glutes, looking up, exhaling, downward facing dog. 3 more breaths in that down dog. Big inhale through the nose. Big sigh out. Continue with that flowing breath from your downward dog. And then from here, bring the left foot to the middle of the mat. And then inhale, right foot goes up. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, right leg coming back up. Exhale, knee to right upper arm as high as you can. Inhale, right knee coming back up. And exhale to the left upper arm this time. And extend that right leg, reaching the left hand up into that fallen star. Maybe pivoting on that back foot, gauging the obliques, reaching high up, and then in one straight movement, coming back to your 3-legged dog and to your downward dog. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, knee to nose, engage that core. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, knee to left upper arm as high as you can. And then inhale, coming back up. Exhale, twisting to the right upper arm, extending that left foot, reaching the right arm up, fallen star. Keep the breath flowing, even smile. And then right hand down on the mat, one movement into that 3-legged dog, and then bringing back both foot into your down dog. Staying here just a few more breaths, just and then inhale, the right leg comes up. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. And then inhale, bringing that right leg back up. And then knee to right upper arm. Let's do this. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, knee to left upper arm. Inhale, bring it back up. Right foot down on the mat. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left foot comes up. Exhale, knee to left upper arm, you got this. And then inhale, coming back up. And bring that foot back down on the mat. Now one more time, inhale, right foot comes up. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, knee to right upper arm if you want. On balance here, otherwise you just stay here, one more breath, and then 3-legged dog. Now let's bring that right knee to the left upper arm, twisting, one breath here, and then inhale, coming back up, right foot on the mat, inhale, left foot goes up, exhale, knee to nose, engage your core, inhale, coming back up, exhale, knee to the left upper arm balance here. Or if you want to stay in that knee to left upper arm and then bring it back up. And finally, we're twisting over to the right side and back into your downward dog. We're keeping the breath flowing in that down dog. I am sweating. Little disclaimer. It is summer in London. I'm keeping the windows closed so that there's no noise. So it is hot. And of course today is power flow, so let's have some sweaty fun. So from your down dog, Bending your knees, looking forward, stepping to the front of the mat, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And then gently rising up, hands up to the ceiling and down to your heart. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forwards. Inhale is flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back into your high plank. We're staying 5 breaths in that high plank. Pelvis tucked in, pushing the ground away with the hands. Inhale for 3. And exhale for 3. Inhale for 4. And exhale for 4. One more breath. Inhale for 5. And exhale, bending the elbows into your low plank. Inhale is up dog or cobra, looking up, engaging those glutes. Exhaling, downward facing dog. From that downward facing dog, inhale, the right leg goes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands, left knee on the mat. Lunge, using your core to come up. Interlacing fingers on your knees and then pushing that quad and that knee away, sinking into your lunge. And then heel toeing that right foot towards the right side. And then it's as you want, but you can go as deep as you like, bringing that upper body closer to the mat. I'm gonna keep it gentle today, but if you want to bring your elbows to the mat, that's perfectly fine. If you want to push that right knee away, do that. But here we're really working on opening the hips for the next sequence. And from here, heel toeing that foot to the middle of the mat and then stepping back straight into your high plank, lowering down to low plank. Inhale is up dog, look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, lunge on that left side, right knee on the mat and tuck your toes. Use your core to come up. And then no, we're not reaching up, we're interlacing fingers on that knee and then sinking lower. I got excited with bringing my hands up, but no, not yet. Just sink a little lower here if you can. Opening those hips, creating length in the hip flexors. And then if you like, heel toeing that left foot towards the left side of the mat. And then maybe bringing your elbows here down on the mat, feeling that stretch. Hamstrings, and then slightly maybe to the outside of the hips too. If you push that right knee to the right side, you can do the same with the left. I'm literally dripping sweat. We're gonna do this though. I'm not giving up today, so neither are you. From here, bring the left foot towards the middle of the mat. And let's step back into that high plank. Lower into that low plank. Inhale is up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale again, right leg up. Exhale, lunge on that right side. This time we're reaching both hands high up in the air. And sinking still lower with your hips. Maybe really trying to let go of everything that's stopping you in those hips. And a little tricky one, we're going straight to a high lunge from here. So tucking your back toes and then straightening that left foot, coming up off that left knee into a high lunge. Keeping right knee above the right ankle, both hands high up in the air, pelvis always tucked in. And then frame the front foot, stepping back, high plank, lowering down to low plank. Inhale is up dog, look up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, lunge on that left side, right knee on the mat. Coming back up, hands up to the ceiling, sinking lower into that lunge. Really letting go everything around those hips. What's holding you back right now? There is something. And then we're going to tuck the back toe and come straight up into that high lunge. Still reaching high up, pelvis still tucked in, left knee really bent. Maybe even quad parallel to the mat. One more breath. And then frame the front foot, stepping back into your high plank. Lowering down to your lower plank. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just a few breaths in that down dog. And then from your down dog, inhale, right foot comes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands, high lunge. So that crescent lunge, heel off the mat, hands high up in the air, just where we were a minute ago. And then left hand comes down on the mat, right hand comes up with twisting. You can look up, you can look down, doesn't matter. Keeping that right knee above the right ankle. And then making your way back up into that crescent lunge. We're going to spring off the back foot straight into our warrior three. Both legs super straight, reaching through the ball of that left foot, hips into one level. Both hands either to your heart, to the back, or to the front. I like them at my heart. It's a little bit easier. If you want to challenge, bend that right knee, bring the left ankle to the left knee to the right ankle. And then coming back up, warrior three, 2 more times, knee to ankle, and then strengthen that right leg, straighten it. 1 more time, you got this, left knee to right ankle, coming back up into your warrior three, stepping back into your high lunge, framing the front foot, step back high plank. Waiting for everyone to get in a high plank. And then come down into that low plank, send elbows to the back. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Let's do that on the other side. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands, lunge on that left side. Right heel off the mat. Both hands high up in the air. And find that strong pose, back leg straight as much as possible, and then that quad is as parallel as you can to the mat. Right hand on the mat, left hand goes up, we twist into that crescent lunge twist. That back leg is still straight, my quad still somewhat parallel to the mat. And then in one movement, we're making our way back into that crescent lunge. And then working for our warrior three, springing off the back foot, straight into that warrior three. Hips on the same level, both legs straight, reaching through the ball of that right foot. And then knee to ankle, right knee to that left ankle, bending that left knee, coming back up, warrior three. You got this, 2 more times, come down, right knee to left ankle, and then coming back up, warrior three. 1 more time, you got this, coming down, knee to ankle, and then warrior three. 1 breath in that warrior three, and then gently stepping back, crescent lunge, hands high up in the air, the most beautiful crescent lunge you've ever done. And then frame that front foot, stepping back into that high plank. Guess what? Lowering to low plank, sending elbows to the back. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're not stopping here though. Let's work on our core a little bit. from your down dog straight into your high plank. Making sure hands under the shoulders, pelvis tucked in, on your tiptoes. We're going for push-ups, yogi push-ups, so we're sending those elbows to the back, coming down, coming back up. If that's too hard, do 3 beautiful on the knees. Otherwise, we're coming down one more time and then coming back up. Let's go one more, you got this. Coming down, 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 and coming back up. Now bringing the right hand in the middle of the mat, pivoting on that right foot, sending the left hand high up in the air, high plank. If you like a variation, lift that left leg. Some of you might even be able to grab that left toe. I am not, but that's fine. Really engaging the obliques here, keeping those hips higher. Yes, you, I see you, higher hips. And coming back to that high plank. Because I feel really evil today, let's go for 3 more push-ups. Maybe on the knees, there's no shame in that, but we're coming down, 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 and back up. 2 more, down and up, and then exhaling down, inhaling up. You got this. Left hand, middle of the mat, right hand goes up, side plank on that left side. Engage the left obliques, hips higher, always higher. We got this. If you've done one variation on one side, it's time to do it on this side. And then back to your high plank. This time we're coming down on the mat. Entire body on the mat. Reaching the right hand towards the right side, pivoting over that shoulder so that the left foot comes behind. And then back to chest on the mat. Let's do that on the other side. Pivoting your hips so that you're stretching that left shoulder. Still sweating a lot. And then coming back here. From here we're going to go straight from that chest on the mat to a high plank, always option with the knees. And let's go for a vinyasa, coming down to a low plank. Inhaling is up dog or cobra. Exhaling downward dog. We stay 3 breaths in that down dog. Just keep the breath flowing. You've done the first hard part of the class, so we're staying a little bit more than 3 breaths actually. But from that down dog, we're going to reach the right foot high up in the air and then step that right foot in between your hands. Left knee comes on the mat, untuck your toes, and then this time we're bringing the hips onto our heels. And then active toes, active feet, straightening that right leg. And if you like, you can come forward, maybe grab that right foot. And then making your way back into that lunge, sinking forward this time so that you feel the stretch a little bit more into your your calf and your ankle, on that right ankle. So really bearing the weight forward as much as you can until the heel lifts up the mat. And then from here, we're going to reach actually the right foot to the front as much as we can, maybe using a block to go into our half split. So reaching that right heel as further as possible, and then that left knee as further to the back as possible. Straightening that right leg. And then trying to keep your upper body straight. I know that's hard. Believe me, it's the hardest part for me too. But then we have that deep stretch. We can feel along the left hip flexor, right arm string. And after what we've done, it's good to cool off a little bit. And then however you want, we're stepping back into a downward dog, so maybe reaching that right leg to the back, and then slowly making your way up into that down dog. To go for the other side, inhale, left leg comes up, exhale, step it in between your hand, right knee on the mat, right toes untucked, sinking our right hip onto the right heel, letting the left leg go straight, active toes, meaning the toes, active foot, meaning toes pointing towards your face, and then if you'd like, grabbing that left foot. Always keeping your breath flowing. And then making your way back into that lunge, this time bearing the weight forward. So we feel the stretch deeper into the calf, lower part of the calf, Achilles tendon and ankle. And then let's go for that half split on the left side, reaching the left ankle to the front, right knee to the back. And then we're in that lovely half splits. Maybe using a block to help you keep your upper body straight. Up. Maybe folding the mat if your knee hurts. And then still feeling that deep stretch. Obviously the opening is going to be way different on that side than on the other one. Maybe positively or maybe negatively. Just one more breath here. And then we're coming down slowly off that half splits, reaching that left leg to the back into our downward facing dog. And then I'm gonna reach the left leg high up in the air and then stepping it in between your hands, straightening both legs from here, and then hands to your hips. We're coming up, straight back, and then pivoting our foot so that I am facing you, pigeon toe, meaning your toes are in and your heels are out, hands to your hips, and we're gonna dive forward with a straight spine at first, feeling already that stretch along the adductors. And then when you're here, spine as parallel to the mat, hands under the shoulders, and then you may roll forward, bringing the crown of the head closer to the mat. If you want to play with the headstand, that's a perfect time to do so, making sure you're really safe and you're setting it up properly. If you're not in that headstand or tripod headstand, then reach the right hand to the left ankle, and then the left hand goes up, twisting from here. And then gently coming back to neutral pose, left hand to right ankle, and then right hand comes up. And then coming back to that neutral pose. Now do anything that you'd like, maybe reaching both hands behind your legs. Maybe you want to grab both respective ankles and then just go deeper in there. You can stay in that neutral pose too. You can maybe bring your legs a little further apart if you feel like it. Trying to keep those feet pigeon-toed. One more breath here. And then bring your feet slightly closer to each other. And then bring your hands to your hips, coming up with your flat spine, straight up. Using the right foot to come up to the top of the mat. Mountain pose. So hands alongside your body, Feet hip distance apart, pelvis slightly tucked in, shoulders proud, open, shoulder blades melting down your back, crown of the head high up. We're going to stay here for a few breaths, really slowing the heart rate down. Whatever you do, keep the breath flowing before we go into balancing. From here, bring your feet together and then inhale, the right leg or right knee is going to come up in front of you, and then open that right knee over to the right side, stepping that right foot under or above your knee, hands to your heart. And then if you like, close your eyes, a little challenge, and then growing your tree. If you fall down, that's okay. Just get back on that tree, keeping that right knee as much to the right side as possible. Finding that drishti, that point in front of you that doesn't move. Stay in that tree pose. And then bringing your hands to your heart. This time the right knee comes in front of you, hovering it over the left leg, which means the left leg goes under the right arm. Correct? No, it's the opposite. If the right leg is on top of the left, then the right hand is under the left. Come on, I know that. And then sinking lower, bending that knee, and then reaching forward, bringing elbow to your knee, looking forward. And then if you like, extending those elbows to the front a little bit more, feeling the stretch in the shoulder blades. Trying not to fall. It's hard to look at your notes and do eagle at the same time, and then we're kicking that right leg to the back, left hand to the mat, opening your hips, half moon pose, reaching opposite leg high up in the air. Two very, very straight legs. I don't care about the angle between the legs, although I do want it as high as you can, but I do care about the legs being straight, strengthening your entire legs from the glutes to the quads, keeping it there just a little bit. You got this. You can always use a block for that left hand, and then transitioning to warrior three, so pivoting, bringing that right hip down, maybe both hands to the mat at first, find your balance, reaching to the ball of that right foot, hands to your heart, and then we're coming straight back up with the knee in front of us, just how we started, hands to your hips, inhale, reach that right knee up, exhale, extend that right leg in front of you, inhale, bring it up, exhale, extend it in front of you, one last time as high as you can, extend the leg a little higher, yes, a little bit higher, and then bring it back down on the mat, shaking your legs, doing a little weird dance if you like, top of the mat. Let's go for that tree pose on the other side. Inhale, left leg comes up, exhale, open it over to the left side, setting up your tree. And just like any tree, you need strong foundation, strong roots. Your right leg today is your roots. If you want to grow that tree, reverse namaste, whatever makes you happy. That right quad is strong right now. Left knee going as much to the left as you can. And then let's set up for that eagle pose, bringing the left knee in front of you, hovering it over the right, which means the left hand, yes, you're following, under the right. Sinking a little bit lower, bending that right knee, and then reaching elbows to the knee. Feeling that deep stretch in the lower back. And if you like, reaching elbows to the front, this time stretching shoulders and shoulder blades. And then we're gonna step that left foot to the back, open the hip, right hand on the mat or on a block. Half moon pose, opening the hip, stacking one hip on top of the other, reaching the left hand high up in the air. You got this. We're staying here 17 minutes. Just keep breathing. We're gonna be fine. Still reaching through the left ball of the left foot. And then transitioning to our warrior 3. We're not actually staying 17 minutes in. Hips parallel to the mat, straightening both legs. Hands to your heart. Just a few breaths here, keeping both legs straight. And then reaching that left knee to the front. Woo, finding your balance. Hands to your heart and then to your hips. Inhale, reaching left knee up. Exhale, extend that left leg. Inhale, come up. Exhale, extend that left leg again. One more time. Extend it in front of you as high as you can. A little higher. And bring it back up. Down on the mat. If you've done it on one side, you gotta do the weird dance on the other side. And then top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, we're folding from the hips. Inhale, is halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back into your high plank. We're staying in that high plank, 5 breaths. Pushing the ground away with the hands, pelvis tucked in. Really keeping that core engaged. You got this. Just a little bit longer. If it's really too hard and it hurts your back, on your knees. And then let's all come down into that lower plank, sending elbows to the back. Inhale is up dog. Look up, engage your glutes, protecting your lower spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then bend your legs, bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. And then gently rising up, hands up to the ceiling, down to your heart. Let's go for a squat. So just knees to the outside, toes to the outside, and just sink into our malasana. If that's too hard, maybe bring a block under your glutes. No shame, I'm very close to doing that today. Just sinking your hips, keeping your upper body as straight as you can. And if you want from here, you either stay in your malasana or you can work on your crawl. On your tiptoes, knees into the armpits, coming up, hands a foot in front of your feet, and then balancing slowly forward, maybe lifting one leg or both. Heels closer to your glutes. Try to straighten your hands or your arms. And then if you want, kicking back to high plank. If you were in Malasana, stepping back into that high plank, lowering to low plank. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bending your knees, looking forward, stepping to the front of the mat, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, and then bring your heels and foot closer, hip distance apart, ragdoll. Grabbing your elbows, swaying from side to side. And then palms of the hands under those foot so that the big toe is on the creases of your wrists. And if you can, if you want, straightening the legs, straightening your spine. And forward folding one more time. Keeping those hands under the foot. And then again, straightening your legs. And exhaling, letting go of those hands, bringing feet closer to each other. And then gently coming up, hands high up in the air, and down to your heart. let's do a little warrior dance to finish us off. Top of the mat, feet together, inhale, sweeping the arms up, exhaling, forward folding. Inhale is flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back into your high plank. Lowering down to low plank. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now bend your legs, look forward, step or jump to the front, flat back, exhaling, forward fold, and then slowly rising up, hands up to the ceiling, hands to your heart. Now let's start our warrior dance, but first, sending the hips low, bringing the arms high, chair pose, tucking the pelvis in, and we sink lower and lower. We're staying at that chair pose, 5 breaths. And the principle of what we're going to do is we're going to do one pose, vinyasa, and then do that pose again, add one, do another vinyasa. And every time we're adding a layer, it's going to be a warrior dance. So from your chair pose, forward folding. Inhale is flat back. Exhale, stepping back, going through your chaturanga, coming down. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Bending your knees, stepping to the front of the mat, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, and then rising up, hands up to the ceiling, down to your heart, straight into our chair pose. Pelvis tucked in, sinking lower, and then forward folding. Inhale is flat back. Exhale, step back, go through your chaturanga, and we're meeting back into that up dog, into that down dog. From your down dog, inhale, right leg comes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands, warrior one, pivoting that back foot, coming up, hands up to the ceiling, left hip coming forward, and then framing that front foot, stepping back into your high plank, coming down to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left side, left leg up. Exhale, warrior one on that left side, coming up high in the air, hands high up in the air. Pivoting that right hip forwards. One more breath here. And then framing the front foot, stepping back into your high plank, lowering down to low plank. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the front, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold, and then rising up, hands up to the ceiling, down to your heart. Guess what? Top of the mat, feet together, sink your hips low, bring the arms high, chair pose. Pelvis tucked in, we're staying 3 to 5 more minutes in that chair pose. And then framing, folding forward into that forward fold. Inhale is flat back, exhale, hands to the mat. Stepping back into your high plank. Lowering down to low plank. Feel free to put your knees on the mat. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, the right leg's coming up. Exhale, step it in between your hands. Warrior one on that right side. Reaching up, left hip still to the front. And then inhale, reaching up. Exhale, opening into your warrior two. Making sure right knee above the right ankle. Left leg straight, both hands into one straight line. Shoulders above the hip bones. And you're looking to the front. Framing the front foot, stepping back into your high plank. Guess what? We're coming down to low plank. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands. Warrior one, back foot's 45 degrees. Both hands coming high up in the air, bending that left foot, bringing the right hip forwards. And then inhale, reaching up. Exhale, open into that warrior two. Knee above the ankle, back leg is straight. Both hands into one straight line. Looking to the front. And then framing the front foot, step back, guess what, high plank. Lowering down to low plank, you got this. Inhale is up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your legs, look forward, step or jump to the front of the mat, halfway lift, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold, ribs on your thighs, and then slowly rising up, hands up to the ceiling, down to your heart, top of the mat, feet together, chair pose, sinking lower than you've ever done today. Pelvis still tucked in. If you want a little bit of a challenge, if you haven't had enough today, on your tiptoes. And then forward folding. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back into your high plank. Going through your chaturanga. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up. Exhale, warrior one on that right side. Left hip traveling forward, staying one big breath in that warrior one. And then inhale, reaching up. Exhale, open into your warrior two. Try to make that beautiful warrior two where you could fit into two walls that are very close to each other. And then we're going to reverse that warrior, flipping the front palm, reversing the warrior, bringing that right hand to the back, left hand maybe grabbing the opposite hip. Really want to open the right side of the body here. Your legs are staying the same, and then back to your warrior two. Framing the front foot, stepping back, high plank. Yes, coming down to low plank, elbows brushing the side of the ribs. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Other side. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands. Yes, warrior one. Right hip to the front. Both hands high up in the air. We're keeping the breath flowing always and forever. And then inhale, reaching up. Exhale, warrior two. Opening those hips, opening those shoulders. Your hands might be on fire. I don't care, not your hands, your arms might be on fire. Just keep breathing through it. Even smile maybe, why not? From here, flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, back hand behind your back, reaching with that left hand to the back, opening the left side of the body. One more breath, reaching to the back and back to your warrior two. One breath for good measure, and then frame that front foot, stepping back, high plank. Lowering to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And then gently rising up, hands up to the ceiling and down to your heart, top of the mat, feet together. Sink your hips low, bring the arms high, pelvis tucked in. And you're like, how long are we going to keep doing this? You got this, just two more rounds, two more poses that we're adding. If I feel a little bit evil, I'll add a third one. Stay in that chair pose. And then, you know what? Everybody on their tiptoes. Staying one more breath here. Feeling the quads on fire, folding forward. Inhaling is flat back. Exhaling, hands to the mat, stepping back yet again for another high plank. Lowering to low plank, elbows to the back. Inhale is up dog. Look up, engage those glutes, don't forget that. We're framing, no, not framing. We're protecting the lower back and obviously already downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg goes up. Exhale, warrior one on that right side. Left hip traveling forward so that hips parallel to the mat. Bending that right knee, hands up to the ceiling. Inhaling, reach up. Exhale, open into your warrior two. Slightly adjusting your feet. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, reaching to the back. And then we're keeping the legs as they are, making our way back into your warrior two. Inhale, interlacing hands behind your back. Look up. Exhale, shoulder to the knee, reaching both hands high up in the air, opening the shoulders, letting go of those legs, keeping them strong, but not holding on to anything. One more breath here, and then using your core, you're coming back up. Warrior two, frame that front foot, step back, high plank. Going through your chaturanga, and we're all meeting in a downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands. Warrior one, right hip traveling forward, hips parallel to the mat, hands up to the ceiling, bend that left knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open into your warrior two. From here, flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, reaching to the back, keeping the legs in that warrior two legs. For the next three poses, we're doing that. And then back to your warrior two, legs haven't moved. And then inhale, interlacing hands behind your back. Exhale, shoulder to the knee. Reaching both hands high up in the air, opening those shoulders. And then inhale, using your core, coming back. Warrior two, frame the front foot, step back, high plank. Lowering down to low plank, elbows brushing the side of your ribs. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the front of the mat, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. And then rising up, hands up to the ceiling and down to your heart. You got this. One more round. And then it's almost a glorified nap. Bend your knees, bringing your hips down, bringing your arms up into that chair pose. Sink lower and lower, lower than you've ever done, where you're not resting anywhere. If you want, one last time, coming on our tiptoes, coming down, down, down. You got this. Just one more breath. And then folding forwards. Inhale is flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back into your high plank. Staying in that high plank. I know. I'm just waiting for everyone to get into that high plank. And then coming down to low plank. Inhale is up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg goes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands. Warrior one. Reaching both hands up. And exhale, opening to warrior two. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, reaching hand to the back. And back to your warrior two. Inhale, humble warrior, looking up. Exhaling, folding forward. Letting that upper body go. And then coming back up, warrior two. So what pose are we going to add? Extended side angle, reaching to the front. When you can't anymore, bending over. Elbow meets the inside of the knee, opposite arm straight high up in the air. And then maybe using a block here, or staying here. Opening your chest. Strengthening your legs. Just two more breaths here. And then inhale, reaching up, warrior two. Frame the front foot, stepping back, high plank. Second to last, coming down to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, step it in between your hands. Warrior one, right hip to the front, hands high up in the air. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, we open into that warrior two. Slightly adjusting the feet. Left knee still above the left ankle. And then flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, reaching to the back. And then back to your warrior two. Now humble warrior. Interlacing fingers behind your back, looking up. Exhaling, folding forwards. Shoulder to the inside of the knee. And then both hands high up in the air. One more breath here. And then using your core, coming back up into that warrior two. One final last one, extended side angle, reaching to the front. And then bending over. Maybe hearing your back crack. Why not? And then the opposite hand high up in the air. Keeping that strong stance. Maybe using a block right here. One more breath, you got this. And then warrior two, framing the front foot, stepping back into your high plank. I'm gonna do the last one with you on your tiptoes, sending the elbows to the back. Inhale is up dog, looking up, engaging those glutes. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Bringing knees as wide as the mat, sinking your hips onto those heels and then reaching forward into your child's pose. You made it. Goddamn. Just breathe into that child's pose, letting the heart rate come down. Make it as passive or as active as you like. I have a feeling we might want some passive. And that passive child's pose would be hands to the back. If you'd like, take a few seconds to come up, have a drink. Otherwise, stay in that child's pose. And then from our child's pose, slowly making our way up into down dog. Don't worry, there's no more flowing of any kind. Reaching those hips high up. And then inhale, the right leg's coming up. Exhale, open the hips, stacking one hip on top of the other, bending that right knee, keeping the left leg straight, and keeping the integrity of your down dog. And then we're gonna reach the right knee to right wrist, setting up for your pigeon. Sending the left leg as far to the back as you can. And then that right shin somewhat parallel to the mat. But we all know that's very difficult. And then sinking forward, maybe staying here in that kind of sphinx variation. Or you can fold even more forwards, bringing forehead to the mat. And we're aiming for that big stretch alongside the top of the glute, coming down the hamstring. If that's too much pressure on your right knee, just do a figure four stretch on your back. Something along these lines. Bending the knee of the leg you want to stretch. And then bringing that right ankle to the left knee, in this case. Interlacing your fingers behind your back and then pulling that left knee closer to you and feeling a very, very similar stretch on the outside of that right glute. And that pigeon stretch is not an easy one. It's a pose where you really have to breathe and just focus on your breath. It's also a pose where you need to let go. I've said it a few times, but pigeon can be a metaphor for life. If you let go of those little things, the pose becomes so much easier. Similar in life. If you let go of those little things that keep polluting your head. Should I have sent that email or that text? I feel like I haven't done this the right way. It's in the past now, it doesn't matter. Well, similar in your pigeon, just letting go of everything, especially in and around your hips. which is a maze of fascia and connective tissues and muscles. You have to let it go. And then really surrender to the pose. And staying a little bit more here. If you want, you could bring the left leg further to the back, opening the hips a little bit more. Maybe you can play with the angle of your shin, see how that affects your stretch. One thing that you won't stop doing is breathing in and out your nose. And then slowly come up, taking your time, collapsing on your right glute. And then bringing the left leg to the front, over that right leg, setting up for your shoelace. Shoelace, the right leg is over the left, both legs are bent. The angle at which they are bent is your call. Some people would like to bend them a lot and bring them closer to the glutes. Others can keep the shins somewhat parallel to the mat, but we're all keeping your straight spine. If we can, both hips on the mat and folding forwards, feeling that deep stretch on the outside of the hips. I've said it multiple times, this pose makes me want to cry, but it is so beneficial, and whenever I don't do it for a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, I know it, I feel it. So maybe that's why it's so hard for me, it's because I really, really need it. You may fold forward as much as you want. Depends how comfortable you are in that pose. And again, that's a pose where letting go of everything really, really helps. Staying here one more minute. And then slowly coming out of the pose and letting both legs go straight in front of you. Giving your legs a shake, maybe tapping your legs on the mat, and then keeping your spine straight on your sit bones, reaching through the crown of the head, and then inhale, reaching both hands high up in the air. Exhale, we're folding forwards. Again, it's not a contest. Doesn't matter what you're grabbing, it matters that you're feeling stretches into your hamstrings, your legs, even maybe your lower back. That's what matters in yoga. The stretch that we're feeling, not how it looks. Folding a little bit more forward if you can, maybe with your head slowly coming towards your knees. In a pose that is called head to knee pose. I haven't looked that far away for the name on this one. And then slowly coming up. And then bending the right knee, bringing it over to the right side, stepping the right foot inside the left thigh. And then we're going to inhale, both hands go up, exhale, grabbing that left foot this time. So you might feel it way more onto the right side because you're really reaching from the right side to grab that left side or that left foot. And then same thing, bringing your head to your knee. Really letting the upper body relax. And then slowly making your way up, using your right hand to lift the right knee, bending your legs, rolling over on your knees and stepping back into a downward dog. Taking your time to get there. I'm taking mine, so you might as well. Maybe bending one leg, straightening the other. After all those stretches, you might have that right side a little bit stiff, not stiff, so French. And then from here, inhale, left leg goes up, exhale, open that left hip, stacking the left hip on top of the right, keeping the right leg straight, and then knee to wrist, pigeon on the left side. You know that this side is going to be way different than the right side. Always is the case. We're not as symmetrical as we think. We're probably not that much, if you think about it. And then it's about finding the pose, or finding the variation, and the little details that really work for you. And it's okay to start slow. What do we say? Slow and steady wins the race. There's no race to win, but slow and steady will help you get wherever you want to go. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're doing, try to focus on your breath for the next minute. Just steady inhales and exhales through the nose. While we stay a little longer here. If you want to bring that right leg further to the back and slightly adjust something, go ahead and do it now for the last minute. And then slowly make your way up as we're going to transition into our shoelace, sinking onto that left hip, bringing the right leg to the front, over that left this time. Again, finding that shoelace variation that works for you, whether heels are closer to the glutes or further away. We're going to reach forward and deepen that stretch on the outside of the hips. Are you holding on to anything right now? Whether it's your jaw or anything around your hips. Can you let it go? Just a few more seconds here. And slowly coming out of that pose. And this time, standing our legs in front of you, tapping them if needed, giving them a shake. And then bending that left knee, left foot onto the right thigh, the inside of the right thigh. And then inhale, both hands go up. Exhale, we fold forward, grabbing that right foot. And bringing your head closer to the knee. And again, using our breath to go deeper. Relaxing the entire body to go deeper. And then slowly coming back up. Both legs in front of you. Again, giving them a shake. And then bending the knees, feet hip distance apart. And we're going to gently come down on the mat. Lying the upper body on that mat. And then knees into your chest, giving yourself a big hug. God damn, we know you deserve it today. Swaying from left to right. Knees into the chest or into the armpits. Whatever is more comfortable. And let the left leg go in front of you. Keeping the right knee into your chest and then sending that right knee over to the left side. Keeping your shoulders on the mat. And then the knee lands wherever the knee lands. I like to interlace my legs into eagle legs to go a little bit deeper. You can play with cactus arms, looking to the opposite side. And then gently coming back. Right knee into your chest, left knee into your chest, and then send that right knee away. Giving yourself a big hug with that left knee, and then hovering it over onto the right side. Looking the opposite side if you like. And then gently bringing that left knee into your chest, right knee with it, sending both sole of the feet high up in the air. into that happy baby, swaying from left to right. If you like, straightening one leg, bending the other, vice versa. One last chance to open the hips, stretch the hamstrings, and then letting your legs go in front of you. We have a long Shavasana today. Just making sure the legs are far away from each other, hands far away from your body. Taking one last big inhale through the nose, and one big sigh out. Shavasana. Start to bring your awareness back to your body. Deepening your breath. Taking a big inhale. And sighing it out. And then introducing movement into your hands, toes. And then bend the legs, bringing knees into your chest. One last big hug. And then bringing both legs towards the right side. Staying a few seconds in that fetus pose. And then making your way up slowly just the way we started. Just with a crazier haircut probably. And a little bit more sweat. Making sure you're relaxing the legs, crown of the head reaching upwards, your spine is straight. Let's just take a few breaths here. Remembering what we're grateful for. Maybe remembering who we've dedicated that practice to. Bring your hands to your heart. I'm very grateful for you watching this video and doing this class with me. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I have had teaching it. I wish you an amazing day, an amazing week. Namaste. We made it. You made it. Congratulations. See you soon. Bye-bye.